Hello! I've been thinking about good and evil lately. Ooh, that's a topic for you. Specifically, good and evil in TV shows, but also generally. Does it exist? Does it exist? Does evil exist? Does good exist? Really? Is there anything? Can you really say everything's evil or everything's good? Well, you can't really. This came up because I haven't been watching this TV show called Sliders, but my flatmate has. And there was one episode with some Cro-Mag, which is apparently the baddies, and he looked up online and some blogger said that that was a bad episode because the Cro-Mag, who up until then had been unremittingly evil, had now suddenly shown a spark of empathy and compassion, and that was a bad thing because what you want in a villain is evil, and that was the bad thing about Spider-Man, no, he's good, no, not Spider-Man, Cybermen. Cybermen and Spider-Men, not the same thing. I'm getting a little bit cybery sort of mixed up here. So what you really want in a villain, he said, is that they don't show any compassion, and where the things like the Daleks and Cybermen have failed, Cybermen have failed, that is at some certain points they've shown that they can sometimes go, I will do good things, I will save your life, I will have mercy, and he said that that was a bad thing. Now I don't think that's a bad thing because I think that shows the horror that they have got that tiny little spark of compassion, and yet they don't use it ever. That really, they're unremitting evil most of the time. And there's one person, you can't judge the whole Dalek race by one compassionate Dalek, but you can't judge one compassionate Dalek by the whole of they are a bit like Jaws, by the whole of the Dalek race, really. So really, it's like with dictators, they're doing probably what they think is the best thing for themselves, maybe. They think that that's good, that they're taking themselves and going, now what do I want? Maybe, I don't know. To think in the mind, I mean, to empathise with a dictator makes you really have to put your head in the minds of a monster. Are they monsters? Depends on the dictator, doesn't it? Really, they're probably trying to do the best for their people, but their people are not every people, and what their needs might not be the needs of everyone else. Do the ways, means, do the means, do not the ways and the means, do the needs, that's the word, do the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? Well, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Imagine, if you will, going back to a sci-fi premise, that there's 7 billion people in the world, not as many when Flash Gordon was around, but 7 billion people in the world. So Flash Gordon, this is who we're talking about. If you go, oh well, Flash Gordon, he may as well die, we'll save the 7 billion people in the world. But oh no, then Ming the Merciless comes, and who's going to save the 7 billion people in the world? Nobody, because you killed Flash Gordon, because you thought you were doing the best thing. Not the best thing, is it? No. So what should you do, really? Well, do good stuff. But is it good stuff? Because if you are doing the good that you think is the good, maybe you're actually doing the evil to somebody else. And don't do evil to someone else. Does evil exist? Does it exist? It's really in the mind's eye, in the mind of the beholder, in the eye of the beholder. Is evil evil? Is good good? Is good is evil? Put them together, you've got the yin and the yang, haven't you? There's always a little bit of evil in the good, there's always a little bit of good in the evil. I think really, you have to be compassionate because you will become a monster, and monsters don't really exist. So you will not exist because monsters aren't real. Whoa, this isn't supernatural. Don't be silly. So, as if monsters aren't real, you can't possibly be evil. So you have to be good. But are you being good? Are you being evil? You see, these are what the great minds of the centuries have pondered over. The good and the evil. And the great minds that have written all these TV shows, they've pondered over it. And I'm sure, Russell T Davies and what's this another one? Stephen Moffat, that's his name, and whoever it is that runs Sliders. Not anybody anymore because that finished ages ago, and Eric Kripke and the person that wrote... Anyway, all these people, these great minds, these great philosophers of our age, they've pondered over these things. And really, they've not really found any solutions, because then some knob goes online and goes, I don't think this is right. You've shown this evil person to have a tiny spark of and white. Everything's shades of grey. It is. They are. Set yin and yang, because that's like black with the white and the white with the black. But they're not all mixed up. There is a bit in the bit. But we're not talking about Buddhism now. We're talking about real life. Rife television. So, is evil or is it good? Is the best thing to be nice? Yes, be nice. Nice is a stupid word, but you should probably do your best. And you could really do your worst by doing your best, but at least you made an effort. I think, really, if your best is killing everybody, that's not your best. Really, you've got to think about every individual and what their needs are. And if the one individual needs outweigh your needs, you've got to think, oh, well, I still better not do anything bad to hurt them. Even if everyone else is going, yeah, why do you need this? Everyone else needs something else. Yeah, but that might... It's a difficult thing, isn't it? It's a very difficult thing. So I think I've solved good and evil for you now, definitely. It is a difficult thing, and you never know. You never know. Retrospectively, you might know, God, that was a really evil thing I did. I thought I was doing the best thing. I wasn't. Oops. Apocalypse. Whatever. Yeah, well, I've solved it for you now, so you don't have to think about it anymore. Just be excellent, Bill and Ted. Yeah, and you've got to really quote your sources. So I think I've told you where everything comes from. Babies and things. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.